You are listening to Skipping the Queue, covering episode 16 of Blazar today. My name is Red. I'm joined by Mel.
They call me Dino. Alex Dino.
Fuck you. And I'm also joined by Razin.
This was the Ultraman Blazar topping the series by once again having the greatest giant woman. Didn't think we'd get here, but
Return of the giant
proud.
woman. That's what they should have called Return of Ultraman.
Never would have expected.
It's such a perfect fashion, also. So yeah, we're covering episode 16 of Blazar. Some cool shit happened. I think this is probably my favorite episode in a bit. I really like this one. I don't know if that's a controversial opinion or something. I'm just putting myself out there. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I suppose I should quickly summarize the plot and then we can just start talking about it. There is a kaiju. It has burrowed up from underground, and it is sitting in its little hole, and when people look into it, they get flashed by like these bright lights, and then they see in the hole what they fear most. In Teraki's case, it's like bean buns. It's hilarious.
Including M1.
Yeah, all the construction workers are like, their visions are of a pre-existing Ultra Kaiju. 3 of which we haven't seen yet, but one of them is M1, which is funny.
I had to rewind because I was like, is that M1?
I'm going to be honest, I don't care enough about M1 to recognize M1. I did not notice this at all. That's hilarious. As inspection of the hole continues, they kind of figure out that this is a whole thing with the light causing the amygdala to react in a particular way to create, like, make sure that the kaiju looks like the thing you fear the most. And we learn what that is for all the people in Scarred. One by one. Teraraki, it's food. It's a bean bun.
To be fair, when they show it in the hole, it does look pretty gross.
It does look pretty gross.
I do want a quick dub fact, because I feel like I keep checking the dub on these just to see what specific, like, because the line reads are different enough from the subs that sometimes I'm curious. That part where Yasunobu was like, "Oh, Teraki's afraid of that." He says something like, "It's totally yummers" or something, and that killed me.
How's Johnny Bosch doing?
So what was that, Mel?
How's Johnny Young Bosch doing?
Honestly, I think he's pretty solid. He's just kind of doing the Bosch voice, but you know,
the
I also
Bosch
didn't hear what Red
voice.
said.
I didn't say it. I was about to start talking. I didn't say anything. Don't worry.
Okay.
So, we learn the deepest, darkest fears of all of them. One, Anri, we already knew she hates bugs, and so she sees the kaiju from that one episode where she was like, "Ew, bugs."
Taganialar.
That's the one. Then we see Alien Kanan for Yasunobu, whose deepest fear is things that would take his machines away. And then we see a busted up Earth Garon for Gento, revealing his deepest fear is the responsibility of the team. He doesn't want to get them killed.
Yeah, it even says at the end of the episode, he's like, my greatest fear is failing the mission.
Mm-hmm. And we don't see Emmys for a while. Because she's off doing something else. She's reporting from the command center or whatever, and Teraraki is also on the phone, and Gento's like, where the hell is Teraraki calling from? And it turns out he's just in the hospital. He snuck out of his bed and has
he's like,
been dragged
I'm
back.
sending you these medical files, and the nurse is like, who said you could take those?
The nurse getting extremely mad at everyone is such a good recurring bit this episode.
Yeah. It's of course Teraraki is like trying to work while he's in hospital. Of course he is. Where are we in the episode? Sort of. The whole team is kind of. The whole team is hospitalized except for Gento and Emmy, and they need to launch Earth Garon. And the Earth Garon normally needs 2 people, and Gento is not at the base. But they have installed voice recognition in Earth Garon, so that Earth Garon can kind of do some of the operations himself. And so Emmy gets the pilot and gets to be the first person to talk to Earth Garon, which Yasunobu is later very annoyed about.
So just to check, because I didn't rewatch the episode, I didn't double check. Is this like the first time they mention Emmy actually piloting or being an Earth Garon?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because
I feel like we've noticed before, like she's I think like the only one who hasn't really like been in there yet. I want to say.
Yeah.
She notes when they're about to launch. She's like, "Really sorry, I'm not a good pilot." So this is gonna be rough. And so she launches an Earth Garon, saves some people, and crashes into the kaiju. And then it flashes, and she sees her greatest fear, which is just sicko mode Emmy. She's just, it's just her. It's just giant woman time. I hope there's one in every Ultraman show. If this is just, the idea.
Unfortunately, I think you've even know we don't need to talk about this, but they haven't had one in Ultra 7.
Oh, have they not? Oh no, I guess they haven't. Fuck. Well, that's Ultra 7. That's not Ultraman. That's a different series.
Okay.
True.
That's how it works.
This is what separates the men from the 7.
Worth noting, of course,
Giant
like, Big Emmy is from her point of view.
Men from 7. Sorry, ridiculous notion.
Yeah, I shouldn't have kept talking there. I was like,
sorry. I'm just picturing like incredibly cursed thought, but I'm picturing like the Jordan Peterson diagram of Chaos Dragon and stuff, but it's Ultra 7, Ultraman, and Giant Woman.
Wonder if that guy has had any dreams about his grandmother recently.
I bet he has all sorts of fucking weird dreams.
Don't look that up.
I don't know what this is referring to, but I bet I'm going to say yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, don't look that up.
Okay.
I'll tell you two later.
Okay.
Is Furuhashi Jordan Peterson coded?
Is Furuhashi... We can't talk about Ultra 7 on this show. Not really. Not like that. I have to say no. I like Furuhashi too much. I can't do this. And then everyone has to kind of call out. Gento goes Ultraman. He turns into Blazar, and all the hospitalized members of SCARD have to, while a nurse is nagging them in the background and Teraraki drags her off, they have to.
I think the nurse is dragging Teraraki off.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Specifically.
And they're all cheering for her. They're like telling her it's just an illusion. You don't believe it. It's not real. You have to fight. We believe in you. And she does it. She shoots the kaiju, which gets it off Blazar. It's like doing a number on Blazar for a little bit there, because he keeps having to block his eyes from the flashing light, which is a very funny little bit in this fight. It's just every time the kaiju raises its palms, Ultraman just stops fighting and just goes, cover my eyes.
Blazar joining the pantheon of children's media with realistic depictions of a panic attack. We finally reached it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just like Puss in Boots.
Just like Puss in Boots.
Just like Puss in Boots. That's a different company. That's Toei. That's not.
Yeah.
Emmy shoots the kaiju. It gets off Blazar, and then Blazar closes his eyes. By which I mean it turns off the light in his eyes, and he's kind of just posted up, waiting to see if he can hear the kaiju. It's called Mogujin, I think.
Yeah,
is what I get. He tries to hear Mogujin approach, and Mogujin, it's like kind of creeping around, trying to be quiet, which is a hilarious thing for a giant monster to do.
Yes. This is like a Medusa fight, but everyone involved is much too big.
Yes. And Emmy's just like watching this and just goes, oh, hang on, I can do something. Yeah, he's on your left. Then Blazar wrecks him. And Mogujin gets... this is the coolest that the sword has been. Is what I'll just quickly say. He pulls out the sword, and then it's really cool instead of like kind of, you know, the sword's cool, but it's like it's not all I want. But this episode, it does it. It's good. And defeats Mogujin. Done. Mission over. And then in the aftermath, Emmy and Gento are talking about, you know, Emmy's like, well, what was your biggest fear? And Gento tells her, you know, I don't want to fail an operation. And then he asks her, so what's your deepest fear? And she's like, oh, that's a secret. And he's like, bro, fuck you. That's not fair. And then Yasunobu is rocking up like, I can't believe you spoke to Earth Garon first. And Emmy's like, do you mean Earthy? The name that you call Earth Garon? The Earth Garon told me you call him. And Yasunobu, horrified again that someone has let slip that he nicknamed another machine.
This time it was Earth Garon itself.
Yeah, the machine betrayed him. And yeah, that's the end.
Yeah.
Good episode.
Also, Earth Garon's a guy now.
Yeah. Earth Garon's got a voice, got a character with...
Yeah. Our good friend, Akira Ishida.
Can you remind me of any characters I would know with the same voice actor?
Athra and Zella.
That's why you referenced Alex Dino. Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. No, I didn't get the joke.
I was like, you just decided to reference Alex Dino for some reason. I'm sure it will become clear, but I'm going to need to have it explained to me eventually.
I thought that was a Galaxy Brain reference I was not understanding. It turns out it was.
Also, Kaworu from Evangelion.
That's less significant.
Yeah, but just so you know, things he's done.
Earth Garon on the moon. This time things will be different.
I'm just gonna have a quick peruse. What are the like highlights?
I wouldn't call Athra and Zella a highlight, but you know.
No. I mean, what while I just quickly peruse this man's catalog, what are the highlights of this episode?
I really appreciate how we get like a funny little rainbow shuriken from Ultraman, and Mogujin like catches it and does the classic kaiju like, I'm gonna throw it back at you thing, and it just completely demolishes like two buildings, and Ultraman just kind of ducks and then gets up and he's like, oh come on. Like when he sees that the buildings have been like completely destroyed.
I like how we got like a shot of inside a building and we actually got like some green screen people in.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a good shot actually. Yeah.
Also, it is fun just like seeing the miniature Mopey pull up. That's like the actual one.
It's always good when in these shows when things are clearly too small or clearly too big. It's my favorite thing. I love how obvious it is. I've had internal turmoil over this because that was not what the intention was in the old days for these things to be so obvious, but it's what I like. But yeah, I do like it when the tiny little Mopey shows up.
No, I'm with you, Red. This is the same. I feel like this is the same headspace that I'm currently at with people that are like, well, actually, Metal Gear Solid 3 always intended to be super realistic looking, so this is the original intent of the creators with the horrible looking remake that they're showing off.
It was intended to be realistic, which is why a snake is in the jungles of Russia.
Yeah.
Wait, that game's set in Russia?
Yes.
Yes.
He's in the... What? I didn't know. Why does it look like that? What? What? Okay. I didn't know that. That's amazing. Russia's big. There's got to be, maybe. Maybe.
I mean, you know how latitudes work, right?
Yeah, but I
don't believe in that nonsense.
yeah, but I think about China and how it basically spans every type of environment on Earth.
Yeah, but the thing is that all of the places where Russia is are north of China.
Yeah. That's hilarious. You know what's also hilarious is I started talking midway through typing out, is there anywhere in Russia that's hot? I stopped and hit enter on the search as I started talking because my brain stopped. And so I just Googled, is there anywhere in Russia?
Episode title decided. Speaking of the episode, I was a little bit surprised. Well, actually, two things surprised me. One, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, after the Gavadon episode, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a really lighthearted, fun kid episode before we get into back to business as usual, maybe a more tense episode or something. And it wasn't that. It was just it's just another monster of the week, pretty fun. Show is still. I mean, the show has more of a a overarching plot, definitely still. But yeah. I'm a little surprised we haven't yet had more. I guess I would say more progress on the. A lot of these aliens and monsters are being sent from the same place, arc yet.
I think the show's... Actually, I'll let you finish.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't think the show's any worse for it, but, I'm just a little surprised. I thought that would be, a little mini arc, but I think they're going longer with it than I would have thought.
Yeah, I think they're, making a deliberate choice to still try and be more episodic, while still obviously, it is a modern show which has an overarching plot, but, I do think this is clearly still definitely a standalone episode, but I think just the fact that we kind of know at this point Emmy's the deuteragonist, and this episode's giving us crumbs of characterization is still sort of serving a purpose that's even if it's not introducing more of the main plot to the story, it's giving us things we'll work with as we build up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you do have an interesting thing of the giant woman is just from Emmy's point of view, so we cut back and forth to seeing Blazar fighting the kaiju, and then seeing Emmy stomp on it in in the cockpit view.
Mm-hmm. Emmy, giant woman Emmy, is having fun, doing some weird moves to simulate the kaiju movements.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Because it's the kaiju obviously isn't moving like a person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the mind filling in gaps to try and go oh, the kaiju is doing a headbutt with its head saw. How does this look when it's a person who isn't headbutting?
And I like that the answer is it's weird. It doesn't fully work because how could it? I really liked that part of the illusion thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also the part where Emmy's wait a minute, you got flashed. How do you go? How are you okay? And he's just well, I had special ops training.
So don't you know I'm a cool guy?
He's just yeah.
I've come back with I knew there was something. I knew there was something that I was I gotta care about this Ishida guy in some way. and it's Kagari from Psycho Pass. He's the ginger guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's very prolific.
Yeah. He's also Gara, but yeah, that's like that's the old
guy
Red.
In, like the one Rakugo anime.
Is the new Red a Killer Bee person?
The new Red is not binging 800 episodes of Naruto in like a year.
Oh no.
That was how I like got into anime, was binging way too much Naruto. And then within like this is the funny thing that happened was within I think the first 5 anime I watched Psycho Pass, and that was really unfair to everything else in the world. So yeah, that's Red Law. Yeah, this episode I like a Monster of the Week episode, and I like this monster. This kaiju rules.
Good thing you're in this podcast.
Yes, but I specifically think this kaiju is sick.
Yeah.
I really like the design. I really like the fun, unique mechanic that it adds to the fight. And it's got a little bit of personality. I like it when it starts to creep around. It puts its hands up to its mouth, like, I gotta go sneaking.
It goes sneaking.
I'm gonna kill you.
It's a good thing I don't recognize that, or else I would. Oh wait, yeah, that's from the thing that I didn't purposely went out of my way to not listen to.
Oof. God damn.
Speaking of Metal Gear.
Speaking of Metal Gear. I think the funniest thing I heard about that was that it wasn't even her fault this time that it sucked. Someone at Konami wrote it, and she just had to do it.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Oh well. I apologize everyone for that brief outburst. I would never harm another human being unless I was forced to.
This is why I need to ban VTubers.
We get too violent over
this podcast. No, just the subject of VTubers just obviously means that there is a danger of more Calliope showing up in the podcast discussion.
Not even showing up like on the podcast. I was like, what?
That won't happen.
I was gonna. No, that will not happen. I was gonna be like, it's weird that we're calling someone out, but also it was very funny when I got to the end of editing last week's Blazar episode, and I was like, I guess we're just starting shit with Arlo.
I don't know what came over me. It must have been because it was midnight.
It was really funny.
I don't know why it came out swinging.
Oh, I'd like to see Arlo come out swinging. That'd be funny to watch.
Yeah.
All right. What else is happening in this episode? I'm not sure. We've got 25 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, this is just a tight one. Okay, actually, sorry, I almost forgot to follow up on the other thing that I was kind of like, next week is another recap? We just had one.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. So I actually went back and tried to just I made a nice spreadsheet and try to see, okay, when are these recaps? Because then it does seem like around this time last year there was also one for Decker.
Okay. It might be.
So my guess is just because this is another not numbered one, is just another case of no one's gonna be watching this week.
Man, imagine having that freedom. It's
yeah,
that's wild to just be no one's gonna be watching this week, so we're just not gonna put out proper episode.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that also helps when you're not making it at. I guess in some ways, the not making a 50-episode show thing like Toei is a bit liberating, because the show is done when you start airing, and you can just put filler episodes when you don't want when you don't want a good episode to be in a day no one's going to watch.
Mm-hmm. Also gives us, maybe depending on what kind of recap it is, maybe gives us a free week for the start of the Return of Ultraman.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just guessing based off like the numbered one, the last non-numbered one, we probably won't have an episode.
Yeah.
I'm just not expecting it to be, unless we were like deliberately doing an episode on the non-numbered recap specifically to make the numbers match back up again.
We will not be doing that. The numbers will simply be cursed for all time. That is just how it is.
Yeah.
Do we have anything more to say about this week's Blazar?
I'm happy that Earthy is a character now.
Yeah, it is. We all like Earth Garon here, but it is nicer knowing that he's a kaiju who is like a guy now and not just like a mech that gets piloted. We don't have to put characterization on the robot like Yasunobu does.
Also, in the back of my head, I could not help but so there's a little bit of a reveal at the end. It's or not really reveal, I guess, but like I guess the way they play it, they show Gento's reaction to what his greatest fear is last. And in the back of my mind, while the camera was still on his face, I'm like, is it going to be his wife or his kid? And then it was this destroyed Earth Garon, and I was like, oh, okay. Okay, no, he is normal about his family. Good, that's good.
Oh, the job comes first. Damn. All right. Well, if we have nothing else to talk about, we can go into plugs. You can follow the show on Twitter. Still, it's not gone yet. We are at ultra_q. That is at ultra_QUEUE. I'm also on Twitter. I'm at gender_redacted. I'm the other places too, but I don't post there. I can't be bothered. I tweet. I know this in my soul. Mel.
Hello. You can find me at Dear Crowns on the various sites. Sporadically on Twitter. I am on the Blue Sky. I'm basically never on co-host, but I am on there too. We have ultrapod@gmail.com. As email for emails. UltraQFund. Is there coffee? Fumbling over my words today for some reason. Resin.
Yeah, you can find me everywhere at Rasenbran. That's RASENBRAN. I uploaded a fun little reading of my favorite classic early 1900s horror story, The White People by Arthur Machen. It's a fun time. Nobody watched it. Go watch it. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.
I need to do color timers.
Oh, shit.
Oh. Late color timers.
So, yeah. 5 minutes, 31 seconds.
5 minutes, 31 seconds. That's a long one today.
And also, stay tuned for a fun-filled little bonus on Halloween.
And I'll keep your eyes peeled on the feed/YouTube. We have a YouTube that's also UltraQ, by the way. If you're not watching this, like, yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Sick. Join us next time for more Blazar. Well, it might be 2 weeks. It's probably going to be 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
But we'll quickly cover what the recap was at the beginning of that episode. In the meantime, there is still plenty of Ultraman that we are watching. This coming Thursday, there is an episode coming out for the last 3 episodes of Ultra 7. Hideaki Anno,
Whoa.
you stole everything. All right. That's gonna be great. Ultra 7,
and then
sick.
Return of Ultraman the week after.
Yeah, first 3 episodes. I assume we're just going for the 3.
Oh yeah, it's 51, so we can just do 3 all the way through.
Oh yeah, you said sick. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. All right. So first 3 episodes of Return of Ultraman, the week after. Fantastic. All right. See you next time. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Later.